Classroom Project, Classroom Library Plan by Melissa Wollstonecraft. Having a well-organized library that is not only accessible but also kid-friendly is essential for young students just learning to read. I believe that an organized and inviting classroom library can lead to a love of lifetime reading. As a long-term substitute, I inherited this classroom library. It consisted of one tall bookshelf in the back of the classroom with 12 baskets stuffed with books. The baskets were labeled, but with very general and generic labels. There were no labels on the books, so it was difficult for the student to return the book to the correct basket. There were no books out on display, no comfortable seating, and no real guidelines for using the classroom library. I knew immediately this was what I wanted to do for my classroom project. I chose to create a plan for my future classroom library. The first thing I will have to do is to sort out the books that fill the library that I will inherit. I plan on having a section in my library for leveled chapter books, picture books that will be organized by series, genre, and themes, and a non-fiction section. I also plan to have a section for reference books like children's Bibles, dictionaries, and an atlas. I plan on labeling all of my fiction as well as my nonfiction books with a picture label that will correspond with a picture on the outside of each basket. I have found a collection of book labels on Teachers Pay Teachers that I intend to buy that adequately covers all the topics I want to use to sort out the existing books. I will also sort and label all of the books from my own personal library that I want to add to the classroom library. Based on any deficiencies I see in the collection, I plan on buying books over the summer at used bookstores and garage sales to help fill the gaps. I've actually purchased several baskets from Dollar Tree over the past few months for this purpose. These will hold all the leveled books and themed books on the bookshelves in the classroom library. On the outside of each basket, I intend to place a label that will match a label placed on each book cover. The baskets will look like this. Every book basket on the shelf will have a colorful kid-friendly label on it. Each individual book will contain a smaller label that will match its basket's label. I believe that this is a key component to keeping an organized classroom library. This will help students with both selecting and returning their books. I plan to use Velcro to attach the labels to the outside of the baskets. Other ideas I might try would be to use double-sided sticky tape, hot glue, or even metal rings. I don't want the books to be contained to just the classroom library, but instead I want to place books in the center of each table and to create an additional reading space located in the front of the classroom. Reading spaces should be warm and inviting. I think there should be comfortable seating, a soft rug, and a place to spread out and relax. These are examples of some wonderful reading spaces that I found. I think it's important to create interest in a book by prominently displaying various book titles. I plan to have many places around the room where I can change out the books on display. These are different ways I have found to display books around the room to create interest. I love the idea of having a center for audiobooks. There are so many ways to incorporate technology into the classroom, and I believe this could help emerging readers. There are many ways to accomplish this. You can use books on cassette tape, CDs, and even Apple devices like a Nano. Here are some great examples of listening libraries. These are lists of books organized by series, genres, and themes that I would like to have as the basis for my classroom library. Some of these books I currently have in my home library, and others are in the classroom that I'm teaching in. All of the books I've either read personally or were recommended to me by other teachers at my school or even from this class. These are common series books that I would like to have featured in my library. This is a list of some of my favorite fairy tales and folklore books. This is a list of the biographies that I discovered when I did my genre project. This is a list of some of my favorite children's poetry books. Kids love books that are sorted by themes. Animals seem to be at the top of their list. In social studies, we do a lot with seasons, so I think this is a good list of books to use. Weather is also a hot topic in first grade. First graders love sports, and I hope some of these books will capture their interest. This is a list of books that I've compiled about families. A favorite of first grade boys is Insects. Books about transportation would also be good to have. I love to use read-alouds in my classroom. The following is a list that I've started of books I want to have in my own personal collection to use as read-alouds. I started the list with books from this class and have added other award-winning books that I've recently discovered while doing research for the class. I believe that this is an effective plan for a classroom library that will be easily accessible, inviting, and will help young readers foster a love of books.